Good morning and welcome to the 33rd Annual Street Fair, brought to you by the Piscataway Public Relations Advisory Commission. We have a gorgeous day on tap, a great day to do Father's Day shopping, to buy some great stuff, maybe for the Knicks, the World Cup. Vendors, we ask if you wish to bring up your business cards to the DJ. DJ Love is Love. He'll read your booth spaces out and show you some love. For today's performers, please arrive to the stage 10 minutes before your scheduled performance time, as DJ Love is Love will help cue up your music. Once again, thank you so much for coming out. Enjoy this great day in Piscataway Township. And now, I will kick it over to Mayor Brian Waller and team.
Good morning, Piscataway! All right, what a gorgeous day here at Piscataway. We want everybody to spend money at the vendors to make them happy, you happy, and thank you for coming out and enjoying our 2026 thing. I want to acknowledge we have Councilwoman Michelle Lombardi, Councilwoman Sharon Carmichael, Councilman Frank Gurn. I know Councilman Dennis Espinosa is around here someplace, and I think Gabrielle Cahill, our council, was there. Anyway, please spend money on all the vendors. Please spend money. That's what's important, and please enjoy all the high-quality games and things over here, all right? Anyway, that's it. Come on, we're going to play the first song. What's the first song? I want to welcome everybody to the June Eye on Piscataway. We have an action-packed month from Memorial Day celebrations to Piscataway High School graduation, the lead graduation, but more importantly, we have many activities here in Piscataway Township throughout the month of June, July, and August. And I'm fortunate enough to have the executive director of our own Piscataway Y, who most people have known Kyle for a number of years. A lot of the students call you Mr. Kyle.
It's exactly right. It's quite an honor to have that recognition in the stores or just around town, and of course at the Y.
And you're the face of the Piscataway Y over there, along with your staff. I think since we're just starting, the summer solstice hasn't started yet. It's getting ready to start. What can people expect over at the Community Center this summer between programming, new events, membership, township events, you name it?
You know, that's what I've come to love over the last 6 years of this community center. I'm going to steal from Darius, our program director. Members come in every day and they don't know what they're going to expect. There's always something new. There's always something exciting going on in our community center, and it's that's a great honor to be a part of. So, you know, as we move into the summer months, some of the things that we are getting ready for, our families are getting excited to enjoy pools. So the spray park is such an incredible amenity that we have here in Piscataway that just so many communities don't have.
And I want to let the folks know I know it's a big hit because if I'm working outdoors at my house where I live about a block and change away, I can always know when the dump bucket goes over because that's when the kids scream across the Route 18 traffic. So
you are absolutely right. The joy that just comes out of it every time it spills is something that's really fun. So we encourage families, become a member. That's included within your family membership. So come on out. That gives you an opportunity every day to enjoy that. Or if the weather's a little rough around the edges, we have 3 amazing pools inside of our aquatic center.
Hey, you know what? I want to talk a little bit about Kyle. You know, for the last couple of years, I've been asking families over in the spray park, you know, how you doing? And then when I ask them, so what street you live on, we get a lot of folks that actually go online and look up where they could take their kids for a couple hours. And actually, believe it or not, the spray park is becoming like a destination in the Central Jersey region, which I find stunning.
You are spot on. And not only is it Central Jersey, you'd be amazed at how many people that come with other state license plates to come and visit us for just a few hours.
It's just folks from coming down from Warren County for the day just to come down to the spray park. I was like, you came all the way down from Warren and Huntington County to come to the spray park?
The reviews online are incredible about just what that experience is like. It's safe for the children.
Yeah.
It's incredible for the parents. We have the wonderful cafe that people can just, you know, grab a bite to eat or even an ice cream, play around. Kids are having the time of their lives. Parents are knowing that their children are safe. And at the end, everyone's exhausted and had a really memorable, enjoyable day for relatively inexpensive.
Well, this is a case, it's just not all about kids. It's you can actually have grandparents and parents. They're multi-generations over there.
Such a valid point. It is. It's groups of kids together. It's groups of families. It's multi-generational. It's a place where family reunions happen. It's birthday parties, all kinds of celebrations.
Oh, it's funny. Speaking of which, on we had our township street fair, and by the way, the weather was spectacular.
You called up a perfect day.
Probably the best street fair weather we've had in probably a decade.
Agreed.
But more importantly, it was, even though it was a little on the hot side, it was really a conducive day for people to come out and enjoy the spray park. So tell the folks what you did for street fair, what the Y did as far as the spray park. Right.
We're so committed to this community. This community has been so supportive of what we do as a YMCA, how we serve the community well, and they give back. So on days like the street fair, what we do is we open it up to the community free of charge. We'll have that same kind of event that happens when we do Night Out. We just find these opportunities to make sure to say thank you back to a community that has been so supportive of all the programs, of all the activities that we do inside of that building. And so families were able to get a wristband.
Which, by the way, I think at the end, you actually ran out of wristbands. Which actually is a very good sign.
It is. The weather, as you said, was a perfect day to be able to enjoy it. But what we also wanted to do is make sure that everyone had a chance to be able to really enjoy it. So we had over 100 for every single hour that was out there, and they were cycling through it. So many people took advantage. I think we ended up having over 400 different individuals that were on the spray pad that were just there for the day for the street fair. So it was a well-received community event. And I bet it over at your house, the screams were very loud.
I was working the booth at the street fair. But with that being said, it was really, you know, I was telling the folks that were over there, it gives me great joy because that's the reason why we built the facility.
Yeah. The vision
the smile on the folks' face, the parents sitting back, relaxing, knowing that they're in a safe environment.
You know, many of the viewers might hear this, but I know that was always supposed to be a phase 2 project.
Yeah. And
with all of the work and planning to be able to make that phase 1 and be the very first thing that our community experienced when that opened in 2020. It was July 17th, 2020 that spray park opened, and it was our first community outreach.
Yep, and that was great. So let's talk a little bit about, we were just speaking a little bit about the outdoor component. You do also have 2 indoor components, and I'm going by. There's probably some folks that may have never visited the community center, so you got to assume that people have never been over there.
Good point. And we've got to get, I would want to invite anyone that is hearing this today, come on over, get a tour. Let us walk you through all of the many amenities of the Piscataway Community Center and all the things that the Y brings to it. But we've got, as we pointed out already, the indoor water, pools, but we have a gymnasium that is world class. When we talk about Middlesex County and some pretty good champions that have come out of our world this past month with the Knicks and the Middlesex connections with it. But its basketball court is filled from volleyball to basketball. Kids just spending time
I have
together.
to laugh.
It's amazing.
I would be remiss. At the Juneteenth celebration, flag raising, I went inside for a few minutes and I talked to some of the young kids in there, and they were playing basketball. And obviously, I was in a suit, and they wanted me to shoot the ball. So, of course, I obliged. Went, shot it at the top of the key. Actually, made it the first time.
Incredible.
Then I stopped, and then they said, "Well, now it's our turn." So then they and I'm of course in a suit and no sneakers or anything, and then I had to laugh. The young kid tried to drive on me, and I was able to steal the ball away from him. And I think he was a little stunned because I was actually in a suit like this on there. But it's kind of fun. But that's to watch the kids interact with adults there as a building, even though they may not know the adults, is a good sign.
Well, that's when you talk about what the Y is really supposed to bring to a community. That's exactly it. There's this mentorship. There's this exchange of generations. There's an exchange of just being safe in the community. We do so much with child protection. So families know that when the children are in the building, or the children know that when they're in the building, they're safe. We're constantly monitoring it. But the interactions that happen, and Mr. Mayor, you do such a great job of that, of going in and acknowledging our youth. They love it.
They love it. So we have, for those folks that may not know, on the upper deck of the gym, we have the running track. What programs are run off the track?
So we've got a couple different things that go up there. We've got a walk with the doc that happens on a monthly basis up there. It's a great opportunity for individuals that sometimes struggle to have access to the healthcare. We are the leading in the nation of healthcare services and tools, but not everyone feels comfortable going into those medical centers. So it's just an opportunity to be able to meet, maybe talk about some concerns, find some of the opportunities that are out there. So it's one that I would definitely look at our website or our social media pages. Come do a walk with the doc.
And how has that program been perceived by the folks that are members there? It
is so well received because, again, it's one of those situations that I hope that those that might be listening just sometimes don't understand. When you don't have access to the medical care that you, or don't know how to navigate the system, it can be a little intimidating. And so being able to have that opportunity that's just in your YMCA, in your community center, on a track that you're familiar with, and you get the opportunity to ask those questions, you just see the sense of relief that hits over families or over the individual that's worried about something. That's what's happening in our community center all the time.
Well, I like the fact that the medical profession's taking time out of their schedule to come over there.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Our medical groups are second to none. And their care for our community, as much as we can get off rail on some different things, the doctors, the nurses, all the people that are actually giving the care, their hearts are golden. And we've got to always remember their heroes.
I would be remiss also, up on that second floor, you also have some simulators up there for playing golf. Do they get used a lot during the summertime, or because then the weather is really nice out?
This has been one of the great things that it took a little time to get some traction behind it, but we have run a number of virtual leagues. And what people find is that the golf simulator, not only is it top of the technology class, these are TrackMan systems, these are world-class devices. This is what the PGA uses to analyze swings. So there are no corners being cut on the technology that is in those units. And they will come out, weather, rain or shine. It's beautiful. Too hot to be out there. Let's work on your game indoors. And they do get a lot of great use.
Now, is it off the gym floor? By the way, in the gym area, what type of programs are run during the summertime in the gym?
So inside the gym, we back off a little bit on some of the programs. Like we do tennis inside of there. We've done volleyball. We do some basketball programs. In the summer, when camp kicks in, we end up moving more towards summer camp. That's their indoor play space. Mm-hmm. But all of the recreational free time is still active, and we still will end up doing our martial arts as well as a lot of Group X classes more towards the evening. So, and those Group X classes are a part of your membership. So another great reason to get involved. And the martial arts is just really, it's one of the premier programs that we have here in Piscataway.
And you have a lot of people signed up for that. A lot.
It's where you have to use an
so
entire
much
gymnasium.
So that when they have the program running, you have 3/4 of the court is taken up.
Correct. Ray, who is our leader in that program, you talk about a mentorship program. Not only is he an incredible instructor, watching the young people that have moved up in the belts, then taking care of the next levels down. It's a true community inside the community.
Yeah. All right. So you talk about some of the programming. This is summertime. You also have a summer camp.
Right.
That's a very big component during June, July, and August.
Absolutely. So it's, the tail end of June. July, it's jam-packed. All of August, we are flooded with about 135 kids visiting on a daily basis for a full-day summer camp. It works from ages kindergarten all the way on up. Our youngers all the way through like probably 5th grade are our most robust groups, but they're getting a chance to participate not only in one of the most fun summer camps that's out there, but we add to it. So we have Class Gaga that does some math education.
Okay.
We have swim lessons. We have water sports games that go into it. So there's a lot of learning.
So in other words, it's not a glorified babysitting service.
It's an experience.
Okay.
These kids are going to walk away knowing that they've developed new friendships, gaining skills. Summer learning loss is a thing of the past. We're going to be working with them with all kinds of experiences. They have stories to tell.
Now,
at
the real
end.
question is, are there any openings, or is everything all booked?
So this is one of those things that I really, truly, if anyone's listening going, oh, this is what we want, we might still have a week or two that has an opening there, but it's mostly full. What we find is that this camp has been such a rousing success that you want to look in January and February when it launches to get your spot. Usually by March, we're getting pretty close to capacity. Doesn't mean we don't want to take your phone calls. Doesn't mean we don't want to have you on the wait list. Don't let your child miss out. This is an incredible camp.
So is it like if sporadic weeks that maybe civilians, because when families go on vacation maybe?
Exactly, because as you pointed out, this isn't childcare. So it's not like you're setting up a system where all 10 weeks of summer they're going to do that. Families are going to go off on vacation. They may just have another...
Or they may take the month of August off, or...
Exactly.
Be around for August and take July off.
Yeah, grandma and grandpa might visit. There's just going to be some family time. There's going to be something that's happening. So we will see some individuals that go, oh, I thought I was going to be around, the week of July, and that we're not going to be there. That's where the wait list still kicks in, so you can still enjoy the camp because we can fill those in quick.
So the enrichment programs, is it just solely the Y staff that's coming in and running the programs, or is it outside folks?
We really do a mix and match. We want to make sure that when you come into your YMCA, your community center, you're getting the top quality programming. And so a lot of times that is our staff. We've got one of the premier staffs in New Jersey, if not the nation, delivering these programs. But when we don't have an expertise, we're going to bring in an expert. And so Class Gaga is a structured program that comes in there that helps the math learning. We will do that with art classes. We'll do that with dance classes. If you are an expert in it, we'll outsource some of those things, but we're going to make sure that the members of our community get the best enrichment, best programming that they can possibly get.
Okay. We just spoke about what about for adults during the summer?
Adults, still an incredible time frame. We just finished a conversation with individuals that want to participate either in our group exercise classes, our water exercise classes. These are communities that come together. And when I say communities, it's groups of people that share an experience together, talk, experience in real life time together, and those are just great moments. So we have all of these classes to challenge you at your physical.
So you have a Zumba class, Pilates.
Exactly. from chair yoga to water exercise to Pilates to Zumba to some incredible Tai Chi classes that are going on, HIIT classes. It is.
And I know
really
the Mahjong classes right there.
Yes, Mahjong is one of those. Mahjong is a class that takes place in the summer. We do take a pause. We need to have that for the kids.
Yes.
But those on Tuesday, Thursday, it's a jam-packed group, and that will return right after summer camp. So right in the beginning of September, that will pick right back up. We've got about 2 more weeks here in June before summer camp kicks in. We'll take them to that, but from mostly July and August, there has to be a small pause that goes on as we serve another group.
So let me, you talked about the arts and craft room.
Yes.
What type of events go on in there, or programming also?
So it is. It truly is an art studio, but it's so well designed that one moment you can look inside of there and it's going to be one of the most elaborate 7-year-olds' birthday parties. Great opportunities to be able to do those. Those are always for rent and space. But we do art classes inside there. We've had some music classes that take place in there. We have games. So there have been things like Mahjong, which we talked about, that's going on. So it's just a very versatile space. Plus, every month it's got a rotating artist that is on display. So we just ask our community to walk through. Being able to be just that connected to our art community is pretty amazing. And we have talent in this area.
You know, and I think that's great. It's become also a gallery for local artists.
Unbelievable. So we will focus on different artists, but they definitely also look around all the historic things that we get to celebrate during this time frame. So during Black History Month, we specifically focus on artists, and it's just really incredible to see the diversity in our community highlighted in the art that's hanging inside that room. If you don't visit for any other reason, once a month you've got to see the showcase.
So when you go down the hall towards the aquatic center, you have a conference room, a multi-purpose room. What does that mostly get used for?
So it really is another variety of places. Our local businesses, it's a great opportunity to come in and do staff training, take them a little bit out of the office space, bring them to learn the latest in your field, potentially something in the technology world. It is well designed for any kind of presentation. We do have other groups that go into it. So we just had we have a number of celebrations of life that go on in there. I think you've hosted a wedding or two inside of that room.
Yeah, that is a little scary there. Having people wanting me to perform the marriage ceremony.
I think that would be one of the most memorable ways to get married.
But one of the funny things, Kyle, is that, well, I should say funny, but it's now being used, like I know the County Office of Aging come by and they use the facility to teach programs to bring outside law enforcement and or agencies tied in with elder care.
Great point that goes into it. Yeah, so we just had a fraud protection, something that's really a major threat, especially to our seniors in our community. Fraud has gotten to the point that it's almost unrecognizable by anybody that truly seems to stay on top of it. So they walk through that.
And that's one of the points that they were trying to drive home to the participants.
Don't be embarrassed by it. We all could be fooled. Yeah. So the fact that they're coming in and giving that education, we have safe driving classes that take place in there. It truly, again, is another community hub that is for our adults. We also have those same programs that go on for our youth, including what we're hoping to have in the fall, which is a financial literacy that our youth in this community have been screaming for.
You know what? I know through the United States Conference of Mayors, they've been putting a big push on about financial literacy. It's just amazing how so many young students out there just don't understand financial literacy. Even with all the technology today, they just don't. All they know is they just put their phone up to pay for something and they don't look at the consequences of what happens.
You're absolutely right. And what I'm loving about the youth in our community, this wasn't something that we said, you know what, we noticed a problem, we need to be the fix for it. This was the youth coming to us saying that they knew that there was a problem and they wanted us to find a solution. So these financial literacy classes that go on and that we plan for the fall have been called for. So they're starting to recognize that. And what a great testament to our young generation that they're seeking that information.
Now, one of the other programs that were there was the adult Citizens Academy from the police department was held over there.
Yes, so the work that we do with law enforcement and the connections that go into it have always been, the Piscataway Police Department is such an advocate for our community, and I hope our community recognizes that. They are true heroes, and they wish to serve and protect. They are,
and they also had their hearings on trying to get people to slow down.
Yes.
Uptown, the seminars by the traffic section of the PD.
So they're constantly trying to showcase and connect with the community inside that room, and it's fantastic. We even had a recruitment for our state troopers.
That's right. We had the first state troopers there.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, the one other connection that goes along with it is that new recruits that may have had some concerns about the pre-tests, the physicals that go into it, there's an entire program that they are sent to our Piscataway YMCA, our community center, to make sure that they can pass the swim portion. And so this was a grant-funded program that just recently concluded. And so Kelly, our aquatic director / associate executive director, has been driving more and more individuals so that we can put the new recruits through their basic training and have them ready to serve and protect our communities.
You know, you just mentioned, I know we briefly at the beginning touched upon the aquatic center, but we didn't talk about the programs.
Yeah.
What programs do they actually run there, and the age group?
So it is a full gamut. We have from water fitness that is often, I think it's put towards the senior population, but it is really for all ages. So we have water fitness, you'll have lap swimming that goes in there. We have swim lessons for all age groups. So from parent-child, where a parent is working with an infant in the water, all the way up to swim team readiness. We have an age group swim team that is a partner with, we call it our team that's there, but it's with the Raritan Valley YMCA. So the Riptide swim team participates. And we've got a great partnership with our high school. Our high school swim team participates in there. So, you know, these student athletes are really delivering at a high level, and it's great to call it home.
You know, if you go there very early in the morning, like say after 7 o'clock, you'll notice that there may be 50 or 60 seniors in the pool. Now, is there a program that they're there for in the lap pool area?
There is. So we would have inside of our lap pool, sometimes it's a spillover from our exercise for the group exercise classes. Many adults are learning how to swim. So learning how to swim is not a skill that you should.
That's just amazing.
It is.
The reason I mean amazing, I just thought as a kid growing up, you know, my mom and dad took us, the first thing they did, you know, you got to learn how to swim.
It is. That is absolutely true. It's a gift when we grow up in a community like this that has access to a pool. But I think what we would have missed is the communities and the number of individuals that didn't have that access. And to see the bravery of these adults going, you know what, it is still a life skill and I can still learn it, and put in the energy and time to master it, I have utmost admiration for them.
What I always love, if you go in there, you see them popping up a beach ball. And so it's almost like they're at a concert or something, passing the beach ball around. Yeah,
it's one of the end of class wonderful things that goes into it, that it's a great coordination skill, it's a fast twitch, so it's actually a great exercise, but it's also such a communal fun. There's so much laughter that goes behind it. But I do warn you, if you're in the pool area at that point, they won't be afraid to hit it a little harder, and they may go after you.
So, do they run any large events during the summertime in the pool area?
So our large events are often going to end up being a lot of these rental groups that come in. So we have a number of outside camps that will also come in for the day to either use the spray park for a little while, but they also come into the aquatic center to do group lessons. One of the things that Middlesex County has led again.
And they had a program to do that, to encourage young students to learn how to swim.
Exactly. They put their money where their mouth was, and they put together a program that was really incredible because they recognized that youth drowning was a problem that we could solve, and the numbers were just too great.
Well, I think the thought process with the county commissioners was that there was a lot of kids that lived in inner city areas within our county that didn't have access to learn how to swim, and what they were doing is they were going to the nearby watering holes or Raritan Bay or the Raritan River, and not realizing that there's current there, and next thing that they get in, and unfortunately sometimes there's been a fatality.
Yes, and us, us being a shore state as it goes, and so people are also going there thinking that they may have some skills that they don't possess. The peer pressure when they haven't had access to water, and so providing everyone access to a pool and to these life-saving skills has been one of the big programs that does go on inside of our YMCA, and we have a commitment that we don't want to see anyone in our communities. We're going to drown-proof them. It is a real gift.
A noble goal to take, because it's so easy to learn how to swim lessons.
Right. So those are the kinds of things, and the more exposure that we can put to people, and there's no better way. This was designed to be able to do it. So even if your child might, or you as an adult might feel a little bit apprehensive, these pools have shallow water entry. So
that's the key. It has shallow water entry.
So well thought out in the design that it's shallow water entry, it's safe to be able to explore, and as you get more and more comfortable, we can continue to challenge you more and more so that you really can get those skills to become drown-proof.
Now, the one room that, why we only have a minute left, that we didn't speak about is the teen room.
Oh, yes.
What activities go on in the teen room?
So the teen room is really, it's become one of the great spots. If you ever want to see some of the greatest minds in our community coming up with all the new solutions, after school there is a series of kids that come from our high school.
As I always say, it's a conga line on Hose Lane.
It's amazing as they come down 18, or they come from Kamak, and they come into our building. But it's a safe place right after school that you can meet with your friends, congregate, but there is homework being done. There's conversations being taken place. Yeah, you may still see some of the youth. We always get the bad rap of being on a screen. But how much social interaction is actually happening when you're doing that in real life together? It's been one of those really great spaces where kids can be kids can be safe. And every year when we've got the new group that graduate up to the schools, we're excited to see them. Because in this community, if you're a 7th grader, you have access to a free membership to your YMCA.
And that's a valid point, and we're going to leave it at that. I want to thank Kyle Stroheim from the Piscataway Y for coming on Ion Piscataway, talk about the upcoming events that you can expect, and then look on their calendar. We're strongly encouraging folks that if you've never been over to our community center, please stop by. It's your community center. There's always something going on. If we can charge you, if anything, just stop by for a cup of coffee or a snack or something like that.
Was one of the best eateries in Cafe 520. You're right.
I don't hear anybody complaining about the food, so
it's amazing.
So with that, thank you, Kyle, for being on Piscataway, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody in the month of July, because we have a lot of upcoming programs in July.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Mayor. I'm Mayuk Mukherjee, my lovely wife, Padma, franchise owners, along with
Chelsea Decker,
Chelsea, clinic director, and business partner over here. And we're very excited and grateful to be opening up a new mental health facility in Piscataway. Too many people suffer from loneliness, anxiety, depression, and we want to offer the highest quality care and make asking for care seem not just normal but also welcome. And we're excited to work with the town and the community and the schools and understand what the needs are over here and partner with all of the organizations to offer holistic care for all. Yeah.
We actually serve all populations, from children all the way up to geriatric populations, so please reach out to us. I'd be happy to speak to you, and we are really trying to destigmatize mental health, whether it's in person or virtual services. Thank you.
I want to say mental health issues has become a big issue over the last decade, so much so that actually the police department now has a mental health clinician on call to ride along what we're doing. And we were a pilot program with the Attorney General's office in conjunction with about 7 other towns in Middlesex County. So it seems to be working out pretty good. So when in doubt, not necessarily always law enforcement with a mental health issue. Sometimes a clinician can step in and help out, and that has been proved a very good tandem partnership with us. So I wish you the best of luck in opening up your business here, and we want to make sure people look good and are mentally health good there at Piscataway. So with that, we're going to let you hold this.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you
Why don't
so
you come on
much.
up?
Yeah.
I want to make sure there's no
Yeah.
wardrobe malfunction.
Okay.
Okay, 1,
2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank
We're
you.
very
Thank
proud
you
of
for your
this
support.
community. We're the 5th oldest town in New Jersey and the 50th oldest in the United States. And we're the home of the first 4th of July celebration. So we're a very historic town. But we like to keep up with the 21st century, though.
Yeah.
So with that. So thank you. Let's go on in.
Yes.
We're very fortunate enough to meet the head coach of the Senegal team, and we welcome to Piscataway and wish them the best of luck in the World Cup tournament.
Scholars of the Piscataway class of 2026. 4 years ago, you walked through the high school's doors as freshmen, and today you walk across the stage as graduates. And that's something to be celebrated. Every early morning, every late night, every setback, every comeback, every lesson learned, and every moment brought you here. And you didn't arrive here by accident. During your years at Piscataway, you needed 3 things to thrive: autonomy, connection, and confidence. I hope you found those things at the high school.
We have grown in ways we could not have imagined. We have faced challenges, adapted to change, and built friendships that'll last far beyond today. Each obstacle we encountered shaped us into the people we are now. As I thought about what to share today, I kept coming back to one idea: hope. The kind of hope that pushes us to keep striving to be our best, even when things do not go as planned. And that idea connects to a powerful message: fall forward. We are often told to play it safe, to have something to fall back on. But what if instead we chose to fall forward? To take risks, to step into the unknown, and to trust that even our failures are moving us closer to success.
They've taught us what community means, that each individual piece makes us whole. They've taught us that our community is built by the way that we show up for each other. Today, we leave the school and enter a world that often feels divided and unjust. We will meet people carrying struggles we cannot see. People grieving, people battling their own thoughts, people noticing, people wondering if anyone notices that they are hurting. And in those moments, I hope we remember what this community has taught us, that no act of kindness is ever too small. Therefore, smile at a stranger, offer someone a seat at your table, ask someone if they are okay. For someone having their hardest day, the most ordinary of acts can change everything. But kindness is only the beginning. I hope we also leave here with the courage to stand up for people who are marginalized, for those whose voices are ignored, and for those who are too often asked to carry burdens alone.
This year's yearbook theme is let the stars show your P-way. At first glance, it sounds like a clever play on words, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized how fitting it is for this class. For thousands of years, people have looked to the stars for guidance. Sailors used them to navigate oceans. Travelers used them to find their way home. They provided direction when the path ahead was uncertain. But the stars never told anyone exactly where to go. They simply offered a point of reference. Each of you has had your own stars during your time at Piscataway High School. They may have been parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, counselors, friends, or mentors. They may have been passions that inspired you or goals that pushed you forward. Those stars helped guide you, but you did the traveling. You were the ones who showed up early for practice, stayed late to study, performed on stage, competed in classrooms, volunteered in the community, and persevered through challenges that others may never see. The stars may have shown the way, but you chose to follow it. And now, as you leave Piscataway High School, something interesting happens. You stop looking to the stars above you. You become one. Whether you realize it or not, there are younger students already looking up to you. Brothers and sisters, neighbors, future chiefs walking the halls of our elementary and middle schools. They will see how you live your life, how you respond to adversity, how you treat people, how you define success. The light you create from this point forward may help someone else find their way.
Today you begin the next phase of your post-secondary journey. Some of you will go on to higher education. Others will answer the call in military service. And many will embark in meaningful careers. But regardless of your path, take a moment to reflect on your educational journey as you have been here in Piscataway Township Schools. Cherish those joyous moments that bring a smile to your face. Remember your friendships and how they have evolved over time. Put in your pocket your accomplishments and experiences that shaped your time here. But equally important, recognize those challenges, because those challenges are what help create your identity. May your journey be guided with passion, fueled and fuel your purpose, and defined by service. Congratulations, graduates. Continue to inspire.
At this time, I ask the class of 2026 to rise.
As the superintendent of Piscataway Township Schools, I hereby accept the certification of graduation for the Piscataway High School class of 2026.
We're here at the Juneteenth celebration here, sponsored by the Piscataway Civil Rights Commission. I'm fortunate enough to have 3rd Ward Councilman Sharon Carmichael, who happens to be the chair of the Piscataway Civil Rights Commission. So Councilwoman, what is the significance of this celebration with Juneteenth? Why is this important, not just for African Americans in the United States, but for everybody?
Well, it's important because it's about freedom. The people in Galveston, Texas waited 2 additional years to even know that they were free. And so it's a wonderful celebration of freedom, but not just for African Americans, it's an American celebration as well, because if one of us isn't free, then all of us are not free. We want to come together, and I'm so happy to be in a community that is diverse and promotes unity and respect and celebrating each other. So this holiday gives us the opportunity to celebrate freedom, but it also gives us the opportunity to recognize where we are, how far we've come, and also the strength and the resilience of the African American people. And we also know that we're staying strong as we have further to go. So it's a wonderful day. I'm excited and happy that the mayor and the township council and the Civil Rights Advisory Commission worked together to put on this wonderful, wonderful monumental celebration.
Well, I want to thank Councilwoman Carmichael for helping organize, along with your civil rights members here. You can't do it all by yourself. You're out there. There's a lot of other people that help put this all together, and I want to thank you on behalf of myself and your other colleagues, to thank both you and the rest of the commission members.
Exactly. Thank you, Mayor.
And fortunately for us, we actually have the guest speaker here, but we don't want him to tip off what he's actually going to speak about.
Okay.
However, how is it? I asked the councilwoman, what is the significance of Juneteenth, and why is it important, not for just folks of African American community, but for everybody in the country? And why is this especially important for young students?
Yeah, I think it's important for young students because it's a part of our history that goes often untold. So even me growing up, I didn't know about Juneteenth. It wasn't until my adulthood that I learned about it. And so I think it behooves us as adults, especially history that involves any culture. It's important for all of our students to learn about it. And so I think this type of event is a perfect opportunity for us to bring out young people so they can see and learn from the adults in the community what Juneteenth is about, why it's significant even today, and why it's not only a holiday that Blacks should celebrate, but all of us in our community of Piscataway should celebrate.
You know, it's hard to believe, especially in the 21st century, with a lot of young students now, when they have instant information. And back then in the 1860s, it took 2 years to get information. Hey, the war's over, you're free. And it would be unheard of in this day and age where everything's transmitted in a nanosecond.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to think about that, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I didn't grow up with the cell phone. So it wasn't until I got to college that I had a cell phone. So I'm in between both worlds. And so it's amazing when I talk to students to say, when I was your age, I didn't have a cell phone. They're like flabbergasted. Yeah. It's hard for them to imagine not having instant news or instant information, and for something like so important to go 2 years without knowing. So there were people that were enslaved for in fact almost 2.5 years, still living in slavery, simply because the message had not gotten to them. It's unheard of.
It was either either telegraph wires didn't make it down there, or it came by horseback.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you, Dr. Dalek Dow. It's great from the Piscataway School District. Thank you for stopping by and for your guest speaker this year.
Thank you for having me, Mayor Waller.
Although we look forward to your comments.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Piscataway Civil Rights Advisory Commission, this is our annual Juneteenth flag-raising ceremony, and we are honored to have everyone here with us this afternoon to reflect and to celebrate and to honor a monumental milestone in American history.
They sing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Anybody who knows me knows that I rarely speak without talking about my family. Despite my education, that's all well and good, but most of what I've learned about being a man, about serving others, about working with young people has come from my wife of 25 years and my children, Bryce and Arden. And the greatest lessons in life, I haven't found a lesson that I cannot connect to my family. And so surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, today will be no different. I think it's important, many times we talk about our accolades of our families, and I've been very blessed that my children have accomplished great things. I don't take that for granted. I tribute that to my church family, my parents, my in-laws, the village that we placed around them. But it's important for us to also talk about the adversity we experience as well, because there's lessons through that. And despite my daughter's accomplishments last week, not even a week ago, last Wednesday, my daughter, an accomplished track and field athlete, she had to undergo a major knee surgery to the point where the procedure, they had to break her leg, all right? And so it's not even a week ago. And so, Pastor, it has stretched our family in ways that we didn't expect. Even less than a week, We have been stretched because we've experienced something that we haven't faced before. And people ask every day, even before, as I got here today, how's Arden, how she's feeling. There's good days and bad days. There's days where she's just weeping, and there's days where she's happy. But again, I believe that even through adversity, there are lessons that can be learned. Oddly enough, 1 month ago today, literally today, 1 month ago, May 16th, 4:37 p.m., my wife and I had the privilege of being in North Carolina at the Coastal Athletic Conference Track and Field Championships. My daughter's a freshman, wasn't expected to do much, but it was just good that she's competing in a conference championship as a freshman. Lo and behold, she ended up jumping 40 feet. Her best jump of the season, ended up third in the conference, finished third, and so literally 4:37 p.m., May 16th, she was walking up onto the podium to receive her medal. A month later, month forward, June 16th, she's laying in a bed with a broken leg. Despite the discomfort, the struggles, and all the pain that she's going through, we're trusting God that she'll make a full recovery and that she'll come back even stronger. It's perfectly normal for us to experience struggle, all of us. And I imagine that despite our struggles, such as the surgery, some of the toughest parts of the adversity that we face is not necessarily the moments that we're in, but it's the moments afterwards. It's the time that it takes to get back to where we were, the experiences of discomfort that we face, the loneliness that we experience during those moments. And those are the things that my daughter's been going through. But on the bright side, despite a long recovery, she's going to bounce back. And so the things that we go through, they are often momentary. But it brings me to this very moment of why we're here today. That back in the late 1800s, there were enslaved blacks that were going through unimaginable brutality, through situations that many of us could never even imagine someone could face. And unlike some of our experiences where we do see the light at the end of the tunnel, they didn't know if their situation would ever change. In 1863, when the Emancipation Proclamation, as Sharon read, was declared and slavery was abolished, it still took almost 2.5 years before word got to the enslaved blacks in Texas. So they experienced an additional 2.5 years of slavery, of that unimaginable experience. And again, we all go through burdens, we all go through our challenges, but we often see the end of the tunnel. And for them, there was almost no hope of that end of the tunnel coming. As we celebrate Juneteenth this afternoon, I challenge us, and I was inspired by Arden because she can't lift her leg. She can't raise her leg on her own. We literally have to lift her leg anytime she wants to get out of the bed or do anything. But despite not being able to lift her leg, for those of you who know Arden, she has no problem raising her voice, calling us, texting us, FaceTiming me in the middle of the day, Dad, literally today, Dad, can you bring me home some ice cream? So while she can't raise one part of her body, there are many other things that she still can do, and that gives her hope. Today we're going to raise the Juneteenth flag, but I challenge us to not let the flag be the only thing that we raise on this evening. In addition to raising this Juneteenth flag, let us remember to raise a hand to help one another, to support those in our community that need that helping hand. In addition to raising the Juneteenth flag, let us remember to raise our voices for those who have been silenced, for those who can't speak on their own behalf, but need us to speak for them. And the final challenge I have for us this evening, as we raise this Juneteenth flag, is let's raise the bar. Let's raise the standard of how we treat one another. Despite the hatred, despite the divisiveness, despite the lies and things that go on and come out of people's mouths, let us decide this evening that we're going to raise the bar and be better and do better and truly live with integrity, as we all should. Despite what others are doing, despite what others are saying, let us be the ones to raise the bar and to raise that standard and be an example. I don't see many young people out here today, but our young people need adults who are going to be that standard, who are going to raise that bar. And despite what they see in social media, despite what they hear, despite what they read, let them, at least as children in Piscataway, let them see us. Let them see that there are people that will raise a hand to help others, that will raise their voice for those that are silenced, and will raise the bar of integrity so that we can lead by example. Happy Juneteenth. Thank you.
Do it together.